Some of what you're about to hear is subjective. For example, this is the best guitar solo you've never heard. That may not be true. You may have actually heard it before. I'm just kidding. Maybe this isn't the best guitar solo you've never heard because it's not the best guitar solo in the world, but this solo is very special to me. I actually played this as my entrance song. Basically, you have to do a variety of different things to get into most music colleges. I went to Berklee College of Music, and the audition process was you have to see how good your ear training is, you have to see how good your sight reading is, and then you have to play a song to a backing track or solo guitar. And based on how those three categories measure up, you're either accepted or denied. If you guys are interested in the full Berklee audition process, leave a comment down below and maybe they'll have me out to the school and we can do something together. Hey, at Berklee College of Music, what's up? But anyways, the song itself is a very underground song. It's certainly not one that comes up when you search it on YouTube. I think the only thing that actually does come up are other songs from this artist or people trying to cover this song. And really, there's only a couple covers of this song because it is so obscure. The song is called Lynx Paw, and it's by a guitar player named Wayne Krantz, who is one of the top 5 guitar players I've ever seen in my life. I've seen him in little clubs in New York City. I've seen him in masterclass formats, and obviously I've found some video on YouTube. If you don't know who Wayne Krantz is, well, I think your mind might be blown if you check him out. But either way, I think it's important to have some education from a guitar player like Wayne. He's one of those guitar players that when you hear one single note, you're like, oh, that's that guy. And I think that's really hard to do. But the guitar solo itself, I am going to do my very best to play it exactly how I interpret it, pretty much note for note, really trying to match the sound of this composition because I couldn't find it anywhere online. Update, I found it. It's on Spotify. This is truly an underground song that I think deserves more recognition. But anyways, enough talk. Here's the best guitar solo you've probably never heard. So what do you think? Pretty sweet, right? Maybe the best thing you've never heard? This is basically the first minute. There's another minute to this song where he just totally goes off, and there's a lot of instructive licks and things that happens in that passage. But as far as this video goes, that first A section solo is just literally the best solo I've ever heard. And I am able to do it justice, I would say, for your first listen. Obviously, it's not Wayne Krantz. He does some things with the finger tone that I just am not able to do like him. But the gist of it is what I want to convey to you. I'm not necessarily going to break down every single note for you, but I do want to show you a couple nuances that make Wayne Krantz's guitar playing so awesome and important to not necessarily emulate, but insert some of the tricks into your guitar playing. So take this first lick, for example, where it's just a pretty simple little F major thing. By itself, not incredibly special, but I played that pretty straight. Now let me play it with the Wayne Krantz dynamic. So that is the essence of Wayne Krantz's guitar playing. He is a million miles a second shredder if he wants to be, as far as the bebop jazz type of thing goes, But when it comes to blues stuff like this, his articulation and the expression he puts into each single note to really articulate each rhythmic piece of the lick, it blows my mind. It's so awesome, and maybe that's coming through on this video how much I enjoy doing it. So you could hear that's no dynamics with dynamics. And this concept is further emphasized in the next part. So I worked really hard on nailing that articulation. Again, if you can manage to find the recording, you'll understand that's almost exactly how Wayne plays it. I'll just go through the same motion here. Imagine without dynamics, it would sound like this. Still insanely cool phrasing, but without the dynamics, it doesn't feel as special. What I mean by dynamics is literally a decibel level difference, and that can be described as touch or finger tone. Really, the dynamic fluidity of Wayne Kranz's guitar playing is especially on display in this song and in this 45 to 50 second guitar solo. So just breaking this down, that little gallop there, he's really breaking the phrase up into two notes, but he's inserting tiny little, and that just makes these things, that just really allows him to push and pull the listener and really make this very basic tonality really effective. If you listen to what the bass is doing, it's just bass and drums and guitar. The bass is literally just going. Extremely simple, really hard type of harmony to play interesting melodies over, especially in this kind of bluesy context. You can really run out of ideas fast. So that is another testament to the melodic sense that went into creating this guitar solo. So moving on to another favorite lick of mine in this, and this is, again, it's just a mastery of the sonic elements of a guitar. When the initial 16 bars ends and it comes in with the snare crack, and Wayne goes like this. Comes out differently every time I try it, because I think he might be using a combination of fingers and pick to get this happening. It definitely sounds like his tone changes a little bit when he hits this bend. So that's how I accomplished that. I put the coil split back down and switched to the bridge pickup during the bend, and that's as close as I can get. But just that kind of innovation for a piece of music like this, and just the attention to detail in a bend. It's my favorite bend I've ever heard, I think, because not only is it just letting the entire landscape of the music just breathe, it is pulling the listener again. It's like, here we go. And is that not the coolest little... Never would have thought to play a blues lick like that. I would have played like... But he goes... And then again, the rhythmic displacement. I mean, it's all just boom, 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 pulling you around. And it took me a while to get these rhythms down, because if you don't play them really precisely, I mean, these are like eighth note triplets, but there's not 3 triplets contained in some of these rhythm groups. So it's really just all over the place as far as the grid, if you want to look at it like that. But at the same time, it is so tight and fluid that, you know when you're playing it right versus when you're fudging it up. So I think to bring this whole concept home and really just identify what makes this the best guitar solo in the world is the fact that Wayne Krantz is doing so much with so little. So like I said, just the real simple groove along with relatively simple scale shapes. I mean, he's just in the minor pentatonic with a couple, major notes here and there, but primarily we're in the F minor pentatonic sound, but he's just all over the place with the rhythm, and that is just a testament to the fact that the most important element of music between harmony, melody, and rhythm is in fact rhythm, because if you can shred a million notes per second and it's not quite on time, it's not going to sound good. If you can play a bunch of chords and it's not in time, it's not really going to sound great. But if you can play even the most simple thing, well, that's the bread and butter. So I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. I honestly don't know why I thought of this song and why I haven't brought it up until now. After making so many videos, you'd think I would shed a little light on one of the most influential pieces of music in my musical life. Either way, I'm glad I did it now. Thanks a lot for watching. Leave a comment down below if you want to hear more about my Berklee experiences. And until next time, keep shredding.